And we're live. Hello and welcome to Hex Therapy Live. I'm your host, Maddie ALLin, also known as ALLin on the PulseX sacrifice. So if you don't know, that's something that we might cover today. Basically, today is just going to be an open topics. You can ask me anything. We're going to do a show for about an hour here, and then I'm going to do maybe some pre-recorded stuff and go on Alex Trelli's show, which will be cool. We saw that Richard just tweeted about 15 minutes ago that the actual website is up for PulseX Sacrifice and that he's going to go live soon to explain it and then really hit the hashtags hard. So that's always exciting to hear. Just in general, when we're talking about the game theory about PulseX Sacrifice, I know that for me, what I said yesterday when I went and did my shortest stream ever, which was like 10 minutes, I said, it's okay to wait. And, you know, it's a therapy skill too. It's a hex skill to wait. And, you know, the reason it's a skill is because it's difficult to do. And because, but at the end of the day, this isn't really delaying gratification. It's not being impulsive. And if you knew exactly what you were doing, you already sacrificed, then hey, that's fine. Good job. You got in on the pre-entry. But for everybody else, there's nothing wrong with taking your time, reading all the instructions. I bet I am one of the few people, although this is a like-minded community, I think I'm probably one of the only people who read the entire disclaimer on the website that was explaining everything that's going to be on the PulseX website. So that may be live now, but I read the whole disclaimer for the easy hex.xyz stuff. But let's go ahead and take a look together and just see if this information is up now. So if we go to pulsex.com, hey, that looks a lot like easyhex.xyz because it's the same exact site that was just being tested. So talk about early access. Here we go. So the PulseX sacrifice has started. Go to PulseX.info to sacrifice. And then this is another site that has been updated here. Yep, let's see if the disclaimer is the same. Yep. If you've read down this far, congratulations. That's right. So if you know, you know. This is going to be super helpful for people that were trying to onboard into PulseX because now it's all laid out and it's not just rumors. The PulseX sacrifice is creating a set of people that believe freedom of movement and assembly are protected human rights. Sacrifice to prove you believe. And so, I mean, it's the only FUD that I've heard, because I'm super bullish on PulseX, the only FUD that I've heard is, oh, well, if everybody gets into it, then we're going to get a worse deal that it's not going to appreciate as much. And I just want to kind of break that down and help us examine and critically think about what that means, right? Because to me, I don't know that many people who don't understand Hex and who are not already investing in Hex that would want to invest in PulseX. I think that there are going to be people like that, but for me, everybody who can, who's willing to learn anything about crypto, they're already in Hex where they did the Pulse sacrifice. Some of those people are not going to be ready to sacrifice for PulseX because if you're brand new and the only coin that you own is Pulse and Pulse isn't out yet, then you're not going to really want to invest in another coin that isn't out yet. Although, there's going to be all types, but I think just the niche, like the cross section of all the different audiences that are going to invest in PulseX, I think is going to be more bullish for PulseX. I think PulseX being deflationary and not being given out to everybody, that's a big deal. And so the people who are going to invest in PulseX are people who deeply believe in Richard, and many people who deeply believe in Richard are super rich now and don't need to sell. And so, if we go back to this idea, like the more people that get in, the worse. Well, what do you really mean? Do you mean if it depends on what type of people get in and, you know, what their bags are looking like, right? So, you know, if we had 600 million or something, or sorry, if so, PulseLead.xyz is going to tell us how many people went into Pulse, right? So PulseLead.xyz, and that's going to show us everything that was donated on the Ethereum chain. So 670 million. I don't think it matters if we go over that. I think if we had 1.2 billion before the OA sacrifice, I think even if we had doubled the amount of capital, people are still going to get a great deal. I mean, what do you think? If, and this isn't financial advice, but you know, are you going to be unhappy with a 5,000x compared to a 10,000x? Especially if the people that you know, the people that you're around are also getting in on it. So I think that the game theory kind of says that we're going to share this with people that we care about, just like with Hex, but that it's not necessarily, I mean, it could. PulseX could get a lot more investment, I guess, than Pulse, especially those people who missed out on Pulse. And now maybe they believe because they've updated their worldview and they're going to buy some PulseX because it's rumored that the PulseX and Pulse trading pairs will go live before the rest of the system. But at the end of the day, I mean, for me, I knew it was a possibility for 2 tokens to get released instead of just one, and the one being Pulse. But I still sacked really hard for Pulse. And I think, at least in terms of like how much liquid I have, I'm going to sack even harder. Even if it's not a higher amount of money, it's going to be a bigger amount of money that I'm changing my lifestyle, you know, like I'm all in. I am time locked on an average of 10 years. I have Hex coming out every year, right? And so you know, I'm on a fixed budget, but at the same time, part of my budget is held in Hex. And so when the price of Hex goes up, then I have more of a budget. But at the end of the day, you know, it all comes back to, do I want that extra $1,000 now? Or do I want to see my investment possibly grow or possibly go to zero in a PulseX sacrifice? And for me personally, because I have that kind of like retirement plan with Hex where I've got some coming out every year, I'm more willing to kind of risk what I have now and honestly just like go back to a normal lifestyle, right? Like I kind of have that philosophy anyway for people's mental health, that I feel like there's no rush necessarily, and each person is different, but there's no rush to spend all your money now. I don't think it's good for mental health to spend all of your money now. And so how much do you spend? And my formula has always been, how I look at it is, the next year is, you know, I'm going to live another 50 to 100 years, somewhere in there. That's my goal. People always live longer than they think they will because the lifespan continues to increase with advancing medical technology, et cetera. So 1 year of my life is about 2% of that 50-year time span. So I should be spending in between 1 to 2% of my bags per year of my savings, if you know, if that's what I want to do. So for me, that's how I kind of manage, and that's how I send money to my future self. I send money to my future self because it's too expensive to trust myself now, when, you know, people, you never know what kind of environment you're going to be in, the people you're going to be around, you know, temporarily. And so now I can be smart about my investing, and I can time lock my money, and that way I don't run the risk of you know, blowing it all, developing some addiction that is going to rob me immediately. I basically am able to Well, yeah, it's as simple as getting in the Delorean and delivering the money to my future self without being seen, so as not to break the time-space continuum. Hex makes this much easier than Back to the Future does, and that I'm going to stand by that. So, the more people who are in PulseX, the more they're going to promote it and build up the first day. There's going to be a whole crowd of people who are interested in this. But again, you know, I could see some of the bit boys getting into it, those types that did not believe in Hex. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to be people who believe in Hex who are going to have the majority of the supply. I think those other people, they're going to get wrecked because their first principles are bad, because they don't understand the power of sending money to your future self, of delaying gratification. And it's not that they won't, it's that they're still on their own personal trajectory towards that. If you think about somebody, I don't blame them. Well, sometimes I don't blame them. If you think about somebody who they're in an environment and they're, you know, they got lots of people trying to pay them $50,000 to pump some shitcoin, and maybe they're going to take it, you know, because they can't predict the markets and because they weren't able to believe in something that has done so well as Hex. I mean, we're lucky in Hex, and because Hex was pretty much marketed to people who, you know, gambled, drank. You know, Richard's early self-help videos brought him an audience that was really a good match for this tool of using a blockchain to send money to your future self into time lag. So that's really cool. But I think it doesn't matter if you get a 5,000x or 10,000x. I love PulseX. I can already tell you, because it pays the bills at the end of the day, because it's like being an owner of an exchange. Okay. Owning PulseX is like being an owner of an exchange, and everybody else is getting pushed out because of the deflationary nature of the token. So the token just becomes more and more scarce because it's being bought and burned. And so the more volume that happens, the better. You know, and in the explainers here, you know, it's going to say what the use case is basically. And we have until the end of the Hex conference. So the Hex conference online is January 6th through 9th. I do not think it is an accident that happened. This was planned around a major event that Richard knew about. And if he didn't plan it around the end of the January 9th Hex conference, when Richard will be speaking for multiple hours, like that is, you know, I'm just saying that's awesome. It's going to be like a whole community event happening. If you go to my YouTube page and you're a returning customer, I think it goes direct. Well, if I'm live, then it shows something else. But if I'm not live, then it shows you the first Hex conference, day 4, when Richard was there. It was really good content. I'm not gonna lie, Richard was there for hours and hours and hours and hours. So that's so cool to me. So again, I'm not trying to drop a conspiracy theory or anything like that, but I'm just saying the fact that the two are coinciding, that's cool. That's the universe or Richard or somebody lining up the stars and making it so. The second Hex conference here on January 6th through 9th it's going to be a special day, because that will be the last day that you can get the same rate, this baseline rate for PulseX, where you get 10,000 points per dollar. And then it's going to go up 5% per day. So $1.05 for 10,000 points, all the way for a couple of months. Well, 6 weeks or until the end of February, until February 25th, when the price is $10 per 10,000 points. And so that's what the Pulse Sacrifice website said. And that's the bonding curve there between now and January 10th, which is like a UTC time. So maybe it'll be just before Richard is on the yeah, so I think it'll be about the time he goes on. So even the people who are buying on January 10th at 105 when Richard is on the Hex conference, they're going to be only diluted by 5%. You know, the people who are all the way up here at $10 at the end of February and not so lucky. So, yeah, I mean, there's a whole use case for this. So part of the, Hex Therapy tonight, I just wanted to update and let everybody know that there's this website has gone live. I'm not sure if the DApp is up. It doesn't look like the DApp is up yet. Maybe it is. Maybe this is the DApp. Okay. So it's more futuristic looking. It's like maybe some like wavy line shapes here, like curtains in the background, and this is great. Whoever designed this, good job. Yeah, so we're live, and we're live. About half an hour ago, Richard says that he put this up. So PulseX.info and PulseX.com are the places you can go to learn more about PulseX, to send your onboards, and to have people send using whatever network they're going to use to get in there and get in on the PulseX sacrifice. Awesome. So let's see. Shout out to everybody here. I said I would answer all questions here. So let me go ahead and Rothko is saying, subscribe, hit the likes, or get out. We love that. Hex Orca, good to see you here. Thank you for, I'm assuming that you are complimenting my thumbnail, which I do the thumbnails myself. I work very hard on them. So, and I enjoy it. So thank you so much, Hex Orca. Shout out to you. Hex Element, what's going on? Bang, bang. Dean, good to see you here. ALLin, and we're live. Still think we should wait on Hex SAC after it dropped from 35 cents to 31. Well, it hasn't been at 35 cents for that long, so I feel like it's been, trading above a quarter here for a week or so, and that's pretty cool. I do not like I do not like playing the price of Hex because I know how up and down it is. The liquidity is designed that way. It's a feature, not a bug. So for me personally, here's what I'm going to say. If people are sacrificing, so if you have a big Hex bag and you're going to sacrifice more than $1,000 or more than $100, or sorry, more than $1,000 or more than $5,000, that's the point at which you might want to start converting whatever coins you have into Hex and then sending it to the sacrifice address. But if you've just got dry powder on the side and you only have $500 to put in, I would not recommend that you swap into Hex and pick up this $50 or $100 fee to swap. So it's going to depend on the amount, because in my opinion, that $100 swap, and maybe it's only $50 now, but that $100 swap, those PulseX tokens, once they do 100x, if they do, not financial advice, but if this token does a 100x and you spend $100 on a swap, that's $10,000 right there. And if it does a 10,000x, yikes. Yikes. So that's $1 million. So you're going to sacrifice whatever you have. On the other hand, if the only crypto that you have is $500 worth of Hex, you're not going to put any more money into crypto, then you're not going to sacrifice not Hex, right? It just depends. It depends what you have, and it depends what your total amount is. Because at some point, if somebody's a crab or a squid or a dolphin or higher, if you have $100,000 or more of Hex, then you want that to pump. You want to take Hex off the market, especially if you're going to sacrifice $10,000 or more, then get those Hex coins off the market, right? Because we don't have any reason to think that the OA would sell, because we're not calling Hex a security, and we're not expecting the work from others that would pass the Howey test to make Hex a security. But we sure do believe that Richard is the owner of the OA, and we sure do believe that Richard has billions of dollars of Bitcoin, billions of dollars of Ethereum, $1 billion of USDC, and billions of dollars of Hex. And we definitely believe that Richard would sell those other coins before he would sell Hex. And I don't know that many people who spend billions and billions and billions of dollars that are like Richard that would then kill their baby, which is Hex. So that's the thinking there. That's a good question. But playing the price of Hex, so last time there was a whale who pushed the price up, sacrificed Hex and USDC, and then pushed the price down in Hex term, like of Hex. So that the people who got in after them would not get as much. So don't, and Kareem, we'll hear from Kareem again here, either on Tuesday or before, if we do a special live stream. But Kareem is the one who came up, I think, with the idea of swimming with the whales. And so what Kareem's strategy is he's going to wait and see what the whales do and then operate that way. And you'll have to decide for yourself. One of the things I love about Quant Gang is the 4 regulars that we had on the show during the Pulse sacrifice, we all had different opinions on how to play it. You got 4 different opinions to choose from. So that's useful, I think, to do your own research, to educate yourself. How's it going, Pulsicano? Send me a message on Twitter, because I know I've messaged with you before, but I couldn't find where I need to send you the Hex conference info. Live on stream, live on sacrifice. Pumped, so pumped. That's right. How's it going, Sir Edwards Tricome? Adam, good to see you here. What's up, Maddie? Awesome job with Alec Torelli. That's exactly who we need to be talking to. Keep crushing it. See you in Vegas. Absolutely. And I've got some exciting things to share about what's coming up in Vegas. I'm not ready to share that yet, but we're working on it. Kinetics is waiting too. There you go. Hit the like. Thanks for all you do. My pleasure, Will. Crypto7, nice to catch you live, dude. Love your content. I also advised on my Hex channel, keep your powder dry on the PulseX sacrifice to get the best dollar price. Yeah, I think there are a lot of cases, from my understanding, where the January 10th is going to be before then is going to be the best time to sacrifice. But we don't know what the price of Hex is going to do. Some people will speculate that it will go up, and that's a possibility. So for me, I put aside some USDC some time ago, and that's what I'm using, but now I'm going to be buying even more. So it's going to be a combination of USDC and Hex, because I love the PulseX. I love that you're like an exchange. You're getting paid like an exchange founder gets paid based on every trade. Wow. I posted Easy Hex in Telegram and got reported and pounced on by all these randoms calling me a scammer. One guy even said I was notorious. LOL. Rothko, you are good. That sucks. The Easy Hex thing was weird. It raised a bunch of red flags for me, but I heard about it from so many different sources. I was kind of okay with it, but you'll notice I didn't bring it up yesterday in the stream, even though some other people did, and that's helpful. But I would rather wait. I would rather not share. Like, that's part of being a broadcaster who's honest and responsible. I'm not going to share stuff with you that I'm not sure. Just like I wouldn't vouch for somebody, to Richard or something if I didn't really have a good idea of them. It's just there's there's other people who can vouch for people. Um, I take a conservative approach because I want my word to be worth something. The chat has gone nuts. Boom. Is there a TWAP or just a value of whatever asset you sacrificed at the time of the transaction? Richard said on Meet Kevin that it was the value at the time that you do the transaction. But with Pulse, it was a 30-minute TWAP, which is the time-weighted average price. For this, I am not sure. I was thinking maybe that it is a 30-minute TWAP, but that it's just simpler instead of getting lost on that to just be like, yeah, it's the time that you sacrifice. The price then is so. And we saw Hawk coin, like Hawka Inu or something like that, get sacrificed like $3.3 billion worth, and it got taken out of the wallet. It either got sent back or something. So that's it's, to me it's unknown, but to me it's not an issue. If I sacrifice Hex or if I sacrifice USDC, obviously with Hex, if the price is varying, it doesn't bother me that it's half an hour. It's the people who are trying to game the system, who are trying to, dump their dog coins that have low liquidity and are scams that have scam liquidity on them and stuff. Like, that's not necessary. Pulsicano, I sacked some at 34 cents, but will hold the rest of my Hex to see what the next 10 days look like. There you go. I believe there is a TWAP. Same. Sacked 100% of my liquid Hex. Nice move. Notorious Rothko. That's right. Mount Coiner, how you doing? We likely will go over that amount, Maddie, considering Hex price is over double what it was during the Pulse sacrifice. That's true. That's true. I like how like most people didn't really think about the PulseX token and didn't know. I mean, even Patrick, he updated his worldview. HexLion, he was saying earlier today, and that's a great stream if you want to check out the Kryptosparbach stream from earlier today. They A-Bit got all the different OGs together there with Patrick, and they went on some yachts in Miami, and it was a really great stream. It had that feel of what Hexicans are all about. Is like just educating others, like enjoying interacting with the chat and that sort of thing. So shout out to A-Bit and Patrick. Shout out to the US Road Tour. Check out, I mean, if you're an audiophile, you might not. I would actually say if you can't handle some like wind in the background, don't check it out. But otherwise, it's a really great stream. So 2022 is going to be bang bang, says Benny Blanco. That's right, without a doubt. 100-year estimate. That's right. So I can live off 1% of my funds now. Maddie, you're going to need help, folks with Sun-Wells syndrome for the next 4 or 5 days at least. Well, I hope so. And I think that there are going to be a lot of other people just like myself who come to understand certain aspects. They can share their own experiences with Sun-Wells syndrome. It's a trip, people. I'm not going to lie. And that's something that I'm going to keep coming back to on this channel. I have a playlist. Okay. It's not, listen, this isn't the most refined stuff in the world. I don't have a 10-minute video yet on Sun-Wells syndrome. Maybe that's a goal for 2022. I want to make more content that is accessible to people who are new or people who are on, a time schedule or something. But right now you can go to suddenwealth.health, and that'll take you to a playlist that I have about Sun-Wells syndrome. It's all the different live streams that I've done that touched on that topic. And there's like 23 videos there that could be helpful. And again, I'd like to make more here in the future as we all continue to wrap our heads around what it means to suddenly become a millionaire and to have to have our lives change in that way. I think that people always dream of winning the lottery, but once you win the lottery, then you start to see changes in yourself and in the people around you, and that's good to take stock of, and to have this community of people that you can relate to is helpful as well. And that's another reason why we're doing community building stuff, why we're doing the Hex conference. The Hex conference is that's where I've been spending all my time, and that's what I'm so excited about to share with everybody here coming up. So stay tuned for that, and that'll be happening here next week. Awesome. Back to the comments. Let's see. How's it going, Phil Hammer, Tintab, Donald Victor? Let's see. PulseX.info is now live. Sandy B, Happy New Year, y'all. Wishing success for all in the community, and I pray we don't lose ourselves in wealth. That's right. Hex, Pulse, and PulseX. That's a great combo. The money will come fast, and people will lose it just as fast. They don't learn what Hex is all about, and get into that. So the quadfecta gang. That's right. Biffines says Hex super monetizes time. PLS super monetizes network effect. PLSX will super monetize on-chain volume. Better to just own the entire RH suite. I like that. And as soon as we can get our team of engineers to just encapsulate all this stuff and give us the 15-year T shares with the Pulse and the PulseX all in one investment vehicle, just to buy a third of each all at once, that'd be pretty cool, huh? It's insane how many good panels. None of the Promise Coin space is anything like this. That's right. How's it going, Dr. Moore? Good to see you. And Biffines, give us a honk. I'll be watching the online conference from my big screen like I am at the movies. Wow, that's a great idea. Thumbnail's great. Cool. Let's see. Is there a financial benefit to sacrifice before the end of the year? As far as I understand from listening to the PulseX Telegram voice chat, it depends on your accountant, as Pulsicano says here, and it's for people who are doing weird write-off stuff or having cash flow issues that probably are very uncommon for most people. So for most people, it doesn't matter. Lightly touch the like, please. Depending on your jurisdiction, maybe a tax write-off. Got 120K worth of Hex ready to sack, so curious if waiting until conference is good because it's expected for the Hex price to go up. That's the thing. I have no idea what the price of Hex is going to do. Last time we saw the whale, push the price up until the end of the initial period and then push the price down after that. So they might be incentivized to do the same, but I also think it's interesting that there was this like pre-launch period where the first $100 million got in, and yeah, I mean we don't know who's going to buy and who's going to sell in between now and then. So it sounds like you either because the price of a Hex could go to 10 cents tomorrow, or it could go to $1, right? So some people would dollar cost average in at that point. Other people would put it in now. Other people would wait until the last minute. But I would say try to study what happened last time and try to understand why that is, and keep asking good questions. I don't think it's a write-off to sacrifice if you have a tax burden. That's only if you sacrifice to a charity, which isn't an option this time. So I think it's a much more obscure. I don't think it's a write-off because you're not. I mean, if history rhymes, we had a nice little New Year's Eve pump last year. That's right. That's right. The price of Hex went from like a penny to 2 pennies or something like last New Year's Eve. So hey, who knows? Who knows? But that was all on the Discord Syndicate and Hexologist live stream. That was really cool. I miss the old Coin Gang squad. Yo, me too. Hey everyone, bring back Future Us. That's right. What's your take on Andrew Huberman? Not sure. Hey, what's going on, Craig? Shout out to you. Well, it's pumping on New Year's Eve again. Yeah, that'd be great. Scammers, yeah, wouldn't it be crazy if it pumped up to $1? I know that's wild talk, but and maybe, last year it was a whale supposedly who just pumped it up just to celebrate. It wasn't that long where it was, above 2 pennies. I mean, it got sold down immediately, and it's like it was a buy wick up at the last minute of the year. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be definitely tuning in and trying to figure out what's going on this year. But why do you want the price to go up? Do you just want it for bragging rights, or is it because you're going to try to sell it down in that wick? Because not everybody can sell it down, otherwise it's not going to be a peak. Benny Blanco, scammers are especially active and running about right now, so don't take it personal. It's just being vigilant. Never post links to scams. Love it. Wave 3 said something in a very clever way. He said, quote, you need to have the coins to multiply your stack during the big waves up. Without the coins, you can't multiply your stack. There you go. Benny Blanco says that Rothko can get unbanned if that's needed. Oh, darn, Tesla is not on the DApp. I mean, truth be told, you could donate. I believe you could donate Tesla to Sands in the Pulse sacrifice. So I know you're probably just being funny, but like, not this time. But in the past, it was because it was registered 503C or whatever that could take anything, take any kind of donations. I verified because the OGs were sharing it on streams and Twitter and looked at it for a while before posting. I don't blame them for pouncing. Didn't get banned. Mods. There you go. Wave 3 is always spitting those alpha gems. Sacrifice 15K at 34 cents. Well, and you know that the price didn't get sold down by sacrificing. That's better than selling Hex and then sacrificing at those levels, probably. Good job. Thank you to you, Davin. Sack dat Hex. Sack dat Hex. That's right, Rick. I need sudden sack therapy after this week. That's what the next one's going to be called. Oh, it's going to be during the HexCon. So like, yeah, we'll have that next time. Next time we have a Hex therapy, that's going to be the name of it. Thank you, Craig. Sudden sack therapy. Gosh, it's good stuff. Did I hear the SAC leaderboard is in the works? I hope so. How's it going, Monica? Hey, Maddie, can you join Crypto Heartbeat? They're going live. Would like to see you Hexagons together. Of course. I would love to do that. I'm doing an interview here in 20 minutes with Alex Torelli for his channel, I think. And if not, then I will go live with them. I've already got the setup. My hair is perfect. My lighting is on point. I'm wearing the Jackpot Cuatro Cinco shirt from Crypto Styles on Etsy, who made this for the Hex conference, the Hex meetup in Vegas. That was before the Hex conference in Vegas. Oh, by the way, there are 166 people watching, and there are not even that many tickets left for the Hex conference in Las Vegas. And so there's about, last time I looked, there was about 136 tickets left. So if you want a ticket to the Hex conference in Las Vegas, I don't know if they're going to sell out before the online Hex conference, which in all of its glory definitely will sell out. I mean, that's a fraction of the tickets, that we've already sold. So check that out, HexTicket.com. HexTicket.com, HexConference.com to figure out what's going on with that, because getting your ticket now before they sell out, I would recommend that. I mean, I wish we could have a much larger conference. Maybe we will, but at this point, those are the tickets that I know I have space for. So that's what it comes down to. Let's see. I'm sack deep in all time. Hex, EHEX, PLS, PLX, unknown token, royal flush, best hand you can have. Is there another coin besides Hex, PLS, and PLSX? There will be an incentive token, but that will not have a sacrifice phase, and you'll only be able to get that by providing liquidity. It's a yield farming token. Many people say they want to change the world, but Richard is the first I heard say that he wants to change the world by making everyone rich. Respect. Price of Hex, says Tin Top, is 31.3 cents. Making lots of noise on I-49, Bitfinesse says, as he drives down the highway honking for the live chat. If I sacked yesterday or wait till the last day, will there be a difference? No, there will not. At least until the second to last day of the Hex conference, right? Because UTC is a little bit different. UTC is plus 1 day compared to Chicago time. But at least until the end of the day on the 8th, and still most of the day on the 9th in Central time, you'll be good. It's only at the very end of the day, like the last 6 hours, the last 7 hours, if you're in the United States on the 9th, that it will start to be the 10th UTC, I believe. Susie Q. Hi, Maddie. I am super duper excited about the conference you've created. Thank you for your awesome work. Happy New Year. Wonderful Hex family. Love to grow with you. XOXO. Shout out to you. Yeah, let's get that schedule up here, because I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to see all the glory of everybody we have. The Sense Foundation did get back to me today. We've been playing phone tag. They left me a voicemail right before I came on here, and so I'm gonna get with them tomorrow, and that'll be really exciting. Because even if they have to pre-record something, I want them involved. We gave them $27 million. Let's find out what they're up to, and find out how we can continue to see results from our donation, because that's like a 4 or 5 or 6x from their normal budget, is my understanding. So that's what's up. Can we do more than one sacrifice? You can sacrifice. You can do more than one send transaction, and that should count as long as the coins count. So it'll just get added together. It'll get credited to your address. If you sacrifice from separate addresses, you're going to be missing out on a little percentage, or a big percentage, depending on how much volume you have, because there is a volume bonus multiplier. And you can find out more about that on the website, I hope. Merry Pulse Xmas, ho, ho, ho. 'Tis the season to sack a little Hex for a little X. I love Hex so much, I'm willing to let some of it go in order to support freedom of movement. Shout out to you, Benny. Holy cow. The 2-cent pump was only last year. LOL. That's right, AW. Turtles only. I just settle for 50 cents. Let's go. Pulse Econo, you can sacrifice as many times as you want. Thank you for answering questions in the chat. So happy to say I'm going to Las Vegas for the conference, hoping to get to meet the lots of beautiful members in our Hex community that I've come to love so much. That's right. And how awesome is it when we do get together? For those of you who have been to Hex meetups and Hex workshops and Hex tours and conferences, these are really amazing events. So it's a little bit weird to see people in 3D instead of just on a flat screen in 2D, but honestly, I don't find it weird at all. I love seeing all my fellow Hexakin YouTubers and people who are in the audience who are so smart, who are so blessed to be in Hex. It's a really awesome celebration every time Hexakins get together. That's why some of us are so excited about it. So shout out to you, Monica. The rate will be at its worst on the last day. Well, that's the last day. So the last day of sacrificing is February 25th, and you don't want to wait till then, because then the price is going to be like 100 or 1,000 times higher, or no, 10 times higher. You don't want any of those times higher. So that's why you want to sacrifice by the Hex conference day 3 or day 4 there. I remember Hexos. Joy at the 2-cent pump. Yeah, the pump up to 2 cents, not 2 cents higher, by the way. LOL. Made all the better to meet him and all real Hexicans at a real event in London. Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. PulseX.info, t.me/PulseXcom. Let's talk. Emailed on Proton. There we go. Hexpo. Mount Corner, see you guys and gals in Vegas. That's right. What's the best hotel to stay at? That is coming up. We do not have that info for you, and we understand that it's getting close, but truth be told, contracts are being renegotiated so that we can get people the best experience possible. So trust me here when I say, the best thing to do here is probably to wait. Otherwise, people, they can book anywhere, but I can't tell you the exact location. And that's how it was for the London event. They didn't tell you the location until shortly before the event. You will know about this probably by the online conference. So that's just next week. But there are some things I don't control. So that's why we kind of have to just keep asking. Like up the like. That's right. Would love to go to Vegas, but I'm this minnow, still have a day job, and that's okay, because my prediction is that we will continue to have more Hex meetups more and more often. And I know when we went to Columbus, Craig, we got to see you, and so I, personally, yes, I would not go to a conference if I was a minnow. I would wait. And we're going to cover some of this online. I'm already going to say that. I'm already going to announce that, because we're running so low on tickets. If everybody that was watching this at this moment, not even the 1,000 people who watch it on the replay, but the people who are watching it right now, if all you tried to buy tickets to Vegas, it would already be sold out. So keep that in mind. Dang, tickets are scarce. Glad I got mine when you were here in St. Louis. I'm glad too, Pulsicano. Save the poker gamblers from themselves, Maddie. That's right. Susie Q, the whales are jumping in Cabo. They're splishing and splashing out the gates of PulseX, singing, "Yep, let's go." That's right, Susie Q. I sacked. It was awesome. Gonna be friggin' awesome. That's right. So how far off the strip is the venue that you're holding the Hex conference at? Is that location a lock at this point? As you indicated, the venue is subject to change. Yes. So again, it comes down to negotiations. I am personally taking care of making sure that the money is not getting misallocated And so I'm the person that you can count on. I'm the person who who has all the pressure right now in order to get those details finalized. And so I will explain further when the time is right, but for now I can tell you that I'm looking, that there are 2 or 3 different places that we're kind of renegotiating and negotiating with, and that's going really well. But I can't tell you the exact location. And when it comes to Vegas, you kind of want to know where the conference is going to be so you can stay nearby. That way you don't get distracted and you can be around other people. But at the same time, I'm not right. I'm not selling out the audience. Okay. And so I'm not making any referral fee on the hotels. And I'm not going to take block contracts from the hotels because I don't want them knowing who all the hexagons are. I want hexagons to be able to book if it costs you an extra $10 to book. I don't want your privacy to be violated. I don't want security risks. I don't want somebody to know that there's a block of 10 hexagons staying next to each other. So that's something I'm not willing to compromise on. When is PulseChain going live, and what do you think the price will be? I do not know, and I do not know, but I do not think that PulseChain is going to go live before February 25th. And I think that we will see, as Richard said in his stream on Christmas Day, that we will see signs that it's getting closer, like go.hex.com will work on the testnet. It was incredible to meet you, Maddie ALLin, Hex Therapy Live at the Hex Meetup in Chicago. Shout out to you, Phil. Likewise. No $2.01 hexo. Hey, you never know. Maybe somebody with $10 million comes along and decides to pump the price. When can we sacrifice for PulseX? When does that start? Thanks. It has started now. So you can rewind the video and check that out. Thank you, Maddie, for putting in the work to make the Vegas the best experience it can be. My pleasure. And, it's the Hex community has given me so much. That's why I want to give back. Go Hex Conference. Go, Maddie. Shout out to you, Hex Token. You can sacrifice now. Hey, it's Cryptic Girl. Hey, guys. Honored to be a part of the Hex Conference testimonials. This is going to be awesome. Yeah. Shout out to Cryptic Girl. Craig. Oh, man. I want to meet Paul Sicano, my partner in chat crime. That's right. Yeah, Paul Sicano is really awesome. And Craig is really awesome. I've met both of you on the US Road Tour. I feel really lucky to have been able to go to like 5 or 6 different cities. So I don't know. I want to go to more. It's true. I might go to. I kind of have to go to Austin. I have to get the Delorean working again. There's an issue where one of the gears was kind of slipping because I drove it all the way. I drove it all the way to Columbus and back. So that was like a lot. I mean, this is a 40-year-old car that's in near perfect condition, but it wasn't in that good. Like there were only 10,000 made, and in multiple years of DeLoreans, and so it wasn't made that well the first time, but it was. It's kind of hard to explain. But so the DeLorean dealership, they fixed a part, and now the part needs to go back in the DeLorean, and I've got it here in the garage, ready to break out. I sent BSC to the address. Is that fine? Do your own research. Visit the website. Find out. HexTech spoke with T-Money the other day, sent you a Telegram message. I'll also give 2 of my 10 tickets to Mount Conier and his wife. Shout out to you. That's awesome. And you bought some to give away, so that's really exciting. Yeah, I will. I can't tell you exactly when I'm going to get caught up on my messages, but keep staying in touch, please. You admit this is a centralized conference. Yeah, well, yeah, somebody has to plan it, and you know, that's why I've always said that there will be many Hex conferences and many meetups. So the more the better. Continuous, even better than that. Multiple continuous, even better than that. Hexwood, hey Maddie, if we bought tickets on Eventbrite, how do we claim the tickets? Your email and serial number from the ticket, that will work. So you are one of the ticket holders. Congrats. The terms, so because COVID was raging and Eventbrite was not paying people out, we couldn't even get the money out until the event occurred. So that's why we've been having weekly fundraising. Like, it says that the event is online, but it also says that the event is imperfect. So it's kind of like a sacrifice airdrop situation where you're like buying this fundraising ticket and then you're the only group that gets the ticket. And that allows us to cash out of Eventbrite and to pay the venue so that we have a venue and to have all of that stuff taken care of. Because I was very adamant from the beginning that I did not want to go into debt or to sell down the price of Hex to pay for the conference, that like everybody can just pay $369 and then the conference would pay for itself. And from what I can tell you is that that worked out perfectly. I also perfectly predicted when Vegas would open up for the Hex meetup. That was the biggest meetup of all time when we had 369 people on June 24th. So that was really cool. I like getting predictions right, especially when it benefits the community. I'm sorry, your flux capacitor is broken. I have my flux capacitor right here if you want to see it. We have 3.5 more minutes, so maybe I will. This is going to teach you to talk shit on my flux capacitor, man. Okay, so literally, this is a whole flux capacitor that has a pink light like Hex pink, and it's literally got hexagons 3D printed into the side of it. I'm not sure how much cooler you could get when it comes to the flux capacitor, but I don't want to know if you know, because this is as cool as it gets. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there more that you wanted to see? Oh, you wanted to see the time circuit? Wow, the green screen really messes that up. I'm going to fix it. I'm going to turn off the green screen for this one. There we go. Also, hexagons 3D printed onto it, so. So with that being said, I am going to answer the final questions here and then take off into the future and other places where the price of PulseX is worth way more. I mean, I had to come back to Sacrifice. Just saying. There's a place in Texas where you can buy every part for the Delorean. That is true. That is where the headquarters is. Is the Eventbrite order number good enough to get in? Yes. We want you to have the original email address too, please, but let me know if that's not an option. We'll work something out. The Mr. Fusion upgrade. Okay, I literally have that too. I'll show you next time. I've got the props. If I'm going to be driving a Hex DeLorean around, gotta have the props. People need something to hold when they take pictures with the DeLorean. Hex has the best community. It seems like everyone is here to help, and we lift each other up as a community. Unparalleled. That is right. Can't wait for Vegas. You need a Hex capacitor. It's right here. Built for Moon Traveler. The DeLorean is super cool, Maddie. Thank you. Hex Lux. Maddie, will you be in Houston? I haven't decided yet. That's cool. Mofit Meals. I wonder what the future price will be on Hex when we come to the Las Vegas conference. That's right. Yeah, it's gonna be exciting to see. I know that during other meetups there have been slight dips, but they've always also been within huge uptrends. Like it seems like the price goes up way higher than we think, and then it just kind of stalls out for a little bit. I'm not sure why. Like a 9-volt battery. Yeah, well, it runs on 1.21 T-shares, which is way better for the environment than plutonium, especially on the Pulse network. So with that being said, I would like to thank everybody for coming out today to Hex Therapy. I have to go on a stream with Alec Torelli, I believe. And so, or maybe Crypto Heartbeat. Either way, shout out to everybody. Hit the like and subscribe button. Get your PulseX sacrifice in when you're ready. Doesn't have to be yet. I'm waiting. I think I sacrificed because I was with a family member, so they were putting in $1,000. So I put that in for them right away. So I know that it works. It's all good. Find out more at the websites listed below. Get your ticket, HexTicket.com. And yeah, looking forward to next week with the Hex conference and everything that is going to happen before then. We'll see if the price of Hex is going to pump up here at the end of the year like it did last year or not. But either way, let me see. Now I kind of have to run the outro to be the Delorean thing. It has like a stupid copyright violation, I guess, because of like part of the tune that Hex Lord used, but it's so cool. I'm still going to do it. So stake wisely, my friends, sack wisely, my friends, and peace out until next time.
Who's there? This guy. What's up, Richard Hart? You're up, and you're all hard. That's why your favorite fake, brilliant billionaire investor's here. Listen, Matty Allen reached out to me, and he was like, dude, you look a lot like Richard Allen when you're sitting on a throne with a candelabra.
Thank you for the kind words.
Fantastic. But which came first? The chicken or the comas? I think the comas, because you're a tres comas individual, Richard Hart. You're a guy who fucks in the best possible sense. And Matty wanted me to say, thank you for inventing Hex, which allowed him, the therapist, to buy a Delorean, apparently, and to promote his future self and mental health on YouTube. Here's the deal. I like people that are nice to other people. I like people saying thanks to other people. So thank you, Richard Hart. On behalf of Matty Allen, you're the human equivalent of a car with doors that open like this or like this. Yeah, Richard Hart.
Great Scott! 2021? Do you know what this means? It's time to buy and stake Hex. We can all be as rich as the original Bitcoiners. My name is Matty Allen. Follow me on YouTube. Let's go! Hex is a coin that allows you to create digital scarcity. The way that you do that is by locking up the coins and earning interest. That rewards saving instead of borrowing from your future self. It's even good for your mental health.
Here, you ain't ready, duck and cover, get inside my dick. Now when it comes to market cap position, you don't gotta worry. It's gonna take a number one spot in a hurry. 555, hit the return button and make it go live. Liquidating shit bags, you've been leverage trading, you got a monkey on your back. 5555, hit the return button and watch it go live. Though we kill them with kindness, we're not very nice. We building lots of bridges, but they made out of ice. We building all these stupid bridges, they made out of ice. We can melt them down in the quickest. Talking shit will get you sweet. In the moment you admit you were wrong, throw you a lifesaver, shaped like a hexagon. We'll show you with digital hugs and kisses. We shilling out forgiveness. We never linger on I wanna see you dancing